Well, hey there, idiots. Welcome back to Observe. In today's video, we're going to be analyzing the nonverbal communication of a YouTuber who was in charge of a family YouTube channel. Their name is Ruby Franke. More on that in just a second. Let's go ahead and roll the intro first. Are you having a tough time staying focused on your daily tasks? Do stress and anxiety hinder your productivity? Are you struggling with sleep or simply feeling tired all the time? Do you need mental clarity to boost your creativity and productivity? Well, if you nodded yes to any of the above listed things, well, then you're not alone. Indel is an environmental-based app that blends the power of sound with cutting-edge technology. It creates real-time, personalized soundscapes tailored to your needs. Do you need to relax? Well, Indel will calm your mind. Looking to supercharge your focus? It's got you covered there as well. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping. Prepare for a night of peaceful rest. What sets Indel apart is its scientific foundation. It uses patented technology and AI to adapt to your location, weather, and even your heart rate. The soundscapes are rooted in neuroscience and psychoacoustic principles, ensuring maximum effectiveness. Plus, it's been shown to help users manage symptoms of ADHD, tinnitus, and sleep disorders. Let me show you how easy it is to use Indel on your phone. With just a few taps, you can create your ideal audio environment. For relaxation, focus, or sleep, it can be especially helpful, again, as I just mentioned, for people who are experiencing the symptoms of ADHD, tinnitus, and even sleep disorders. Now, here's the exciting part. The first 100 people to download Indel using the link in the description of this video will get a free week of audio experiences. So click the link in the description of the video, and if you are one of those first 100 people to do so, you will get a full week of audio experiences for free. Thank you again to Indel for sponsoring this video, and back to our regularly scheduled program. Alright, so Ruby Franke was the face of the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, which showcased her family's everyday life, found herself in the eye of a legal storm. Arrested at 9:33 p.m. on August 30th in Ivins, Utah, Ruby, alongside her business associate Jody Hildebrand, was charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. The unsettling saga began with a desperate escape. A child emerged from a window in Ivins, Utah, seeking help. This house, owned by Hildebrand, would soon become the epicenter of harrowing abuse allegations against both Ruby and Jody. Distressingly, the child, upon reaching a neighbor's home, exhibited signs of abuse such as duct tape remnants around their ankles and wrists. This prompted the neighbors to notify the authorities. Subsequent evaluations painted a grim picture. The child showed signs of severe wounds and malnourishment. The investigations didn't stop there. Another child found in the same house displayed strikingly similar malnourishment symptoms. Notably, a YouTube video from Ruby was shot at the very location just days prior to the arrests. This footage was deemed as evidence for Ruby's presence during the abuse and neglect. The ensuing search of the premises corroborated the children's testimonies, resulting in 4 minors being taken into the protective custody of the Department of Child and Family Services. The 8 Passengers channel, which once boasted 2.5 million subscribers, had been going through tumultuous times. After Ruby ventured onto a new controversial platform and certain members vanished, the channel eventually went offline. Previous allegations of misconduct had plagued the Franke family, stemming from controversial decisions like Ruby refusing to give her daughter a forgotten packed lunch, to Chad, one of her sons, revealing that he was sleeping on a beanbag as a disciplinary measure for some time. Such events were not overlooked. Numerous investigative YouTube channels dissected the Franke's content, drawing attention to the perceived mistreatments. The narrative grew so intense that the family defended themselves in interviews, stating that they were merely teaching their children about the consequences of their actions. However, with the rise of Connections, a new channel Ruby founded with Hildebrand, the controversies intensified. Described as a support group for mothers, the channel was immediately deemed suspicious by many. Statements from the duo, which included controversial opinions on parental love, child privacy, and derogatory comments on diverse communities, further fueled criticisms. Ruby's association with connections might have been the breaking point for her eldest daughter, Sherry, who later distanced herself from her immediate family and their beliefs. Franke and Hildebrand's arrests have thus highlighted a deeper, darker side to their public persona. In Utah, aggravated child abuse encompasses acts like intentional starvation, causing head injuries through shaking or striking, and even suffocation. Convictions could lead to a 15-year prison term and fines of up to $10,000. Following the arrest, Sherry expressed her relief on Instagram, stating that she and her family had been trying to alert the authority for years. Questions still loom around the details and involvement of other family members. Something we will be sure to continue seeing updates on as time goes on. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some of the nonverbal communication and some of these more controversial moments across the 8 Passengers channel, so we could be able to see the psychology behind everybody that's involved. Perhaps there's some other dynamics that haven't been mentioned, something along those lines. However, let's go ahead and dive directly into the footage itself.
They're gonna think you're torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell.
I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Very
Chad,
nutritious.
what are you doing?
Gonna go ahead and pause that there. So we're seeing the roughhousing, some kids just roughhousing as they do with their children. And even though this is a very lighthearted, small, short clip of this specific instance, we're already able to see some of the dynamic between the children and the parents with this already. If I have to tell you one more time, I'm going to revoke your right to eat. They had displayed and presented this idea that a child's right to eat wasn't a right and they could remove it and things like that, and that's simply not true. But there's not too much non-verbally around that specific little clip here, so we're going to keep watching through this just to see how this dynamic continues to play out, the power plays between the parents and the children on this. Let's keep watching.
What are you doing over there? You no texting at the dinner table. No texting.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
I see it.
We should clarify that in our house, all our kids know that cell phones are free game for parents, so we can monitor safety.
Yeah, no kid ever said, "Yay, I'm so glad my parents read my text messages." Said no.
What is this?
All right, so already we're seeing a pretty substantial break in the kids' right to privacy as well. Now, this is obviously going to be a matter of debate among the people on the internet. However, what I do want to be able to make immediate note of is that the father and the mother, they're both saying, oh, well, we're doing this so that we can make sure that our kids are being safe. And immediately thereafter, what they end up doing instead is just using this as an invasive privacy so that they can pick on or make fun of their child. So right away, we're already seeing that this is a power trip for the parents during this time. So let's go ahead and pay attention to some of the nonverbals around this.
I really like you. Hold on.
I did not say that.
How do you work this stupid phone?
The only downside to giving your kids a flip phone is I swear I have to remember how to work it every time I go through it. Who are you texting?
No one.
A new girlfriend.
Whoa. I really like you. I saw you in my dreams last night.
I'm telling you, it's not her, it was her brother. Look, go down. She said, "I'm so sorry, that was my brother."
Did
How
she?
do I go?
I saw you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. So we're already seeing the child. He's sitting small at the table. He's keeping his arms folded in and tucked in. On occasion, we'll see some repositioning as the dad's going through his text messages and reading them out loud so the entire family can hear. We're seeing this breach in privacy already, seeing that non-verbally play out. The other 2 children are just kind of feeding into the scenario itself. Also, there is a camera being turned on and pointed at them, so there is going to be a level of performatism that has to pop out here. But so far, we're just getting a pretty clear dynamic as to how the power imbalance went in this family structure.
Go.
I saw you in.
Oh my gosh, sorry, that was my brother. What is the nature of your relationship with this individual? I mean, there's like 300 texts in here.
Do you like her, or do you just like her? She's a new friend.
That is really, really messy.
I'm going to go ahead and pause here. So the answer to the question there is that the child does like this other person, but we can tell that this is something that's uncomfortable for him to be able to talk about because of two different things. Initially, he calls attention away from what's going on to the messiness of what he's doing, wanting to try to be able to divert a little bit of this heat that his parents are laying on for this negligible thing. And then immediately after that, he tucks back in, leans back, and he answers with an increase of pitch, an increase of tone, and a shrinking down. This is all insecurity and uncertainty. And he says, I don't know. And so with that sort of answer in there, along with the other diversion of attention, we could rest fairly certain that he did, in fact, have on some level a crush on this other person. But when it really boils down to it, it's really neither here nor there. So that's what we're seeing from this so far non-verbally. Let's see how the parents handle it.
I seen him with her, and he likes her.
Does she like you back?
Probably. No, she thinks he's annoying.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
Okay. So I'm not sure what the context around this small clip is, but he's about to start talking about the instance with the beanbag that I mentioned in the intro to this video, where he has been sleeping on a beanbag rather than in his bedroom. And so he's bringing that up, that he's been on a beanbag for 7 months. The mom does a slight flash of fear with the pulling of the corners of the mouth downwards and to the side, and the strain in the neck and the hunching up of the shoulders here. This is fear and uncertainty as she's caught out in something that she even deems as semi-inappropriate. Otherwise, she wouldn't have the defensiveness and fear that would come in. She also has a big smile and tries to laugh it off by saying, I don't think that the audience knew about this side of things, but it's now out in the open here. And we could see non-verbally speaking that even she on some level is aware that what she is doing or what her and her husband are doing is not good parenting. Let's keep watching.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head.
This is also fairly enlightening to see that the son is not dead positive in and of himself as to what the reason for this sort of disciplinary action was being taken upon him. That lets us know a little bit of the context of how the house goes. Perhaps these disciplinary actions were done rather frivolously or not communicated around so that some of the lessons behind it are lost, things like that. And to which the response is that the parents need to communicate a little bit better and maybe find a way to communicate better with the child, the human being child that they're raising. Let's see what this all plays out as.
It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, he was like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on.
Do you think it's funny because...
And then I walked...
I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. So that's the reason for him not having a bed for 7 months, is that he pranked his younger sibling into getting out of bed at ungodly hours in the morning, getting all dressed. We've even probably seen videos similar to these sorts of pranks online. They're not very harmful. The very worst that happens is that there has to be some unpacking and maybe getting back into bed and some disappointment centered around that. It's not the kindest of pranks, but most pranks aren't. I will say with absolute certainty that prank did not merit 7 months without a bed. That's not appropriate at all. So what we're seeing across the mother's face during this time, while he's talking about this and having some humor around the prank, and you could even hear other kids in the room laughing along with that, is you could see a level of contempt and disgust across her face in regards to that. So she's having very negative emotions to the actions of her child. And we also can fully now see that if she has these negative emotions, that she's very willing to give out punishment and discipline that is beyond the appropriate amount. So let's see how that plays.
And then I walk out. And
If you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
It was not funny.
Russell got the big bedroom and Chad got the smaller bedroom. And Russell's bigger bedroom also had a bathroom. But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room. Abby.
Okay, So Chad, bigger brother, younger brother, has room with the bathroom. Bigger brother doesn't actually even have a room. He gets to sleep on a beanbag. So again, this is an area of mishandling of power within a family dynamic. These parents' behavior towards their kids is always going to be online for the kids to be able to know for certain that their parents were behaving horribly. Yes, this doesn't clear the kids up on any level of the kids' whatever misbehaviors and whatnot, but the parents' response to that is not appropriate. Let's keep watching.
Abby, we took the phone away from Abby in November. And you may never get the phone back.
Probably not.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally like told my friends I'm not hanging out with them anymore
Because
they say some pretty messed up stuff.
I don't even know where they live. They're pretty far away.
So, summer goal, become the best athlete I possibly can.
Gonna go ahead and pause that there. So that is also another thing that adds context to this. I'm trying to watch the kids' nonverbal communication in regards to how they're addressing their mother. And the mother has a fairly blank expression on her face as the kids are saying something that's rather troubling. I don't have friends. I told my friends I don't want to hang out because of the things that were being said around that. So what we're hearing is also a level of isolation being done by the parents that's encouraging their kids to not have a social circle, which is not great. It's not a good way for a human brain to develop, especially throughout the ages of high school and whatnot, as things are really beginning to become concrete in a person's mind and an understanding of themselves. Having social interactions and the freedom to do so is a very important part. And then we're also seeing that on the nonverbal level, that there's only a level of discomfort from the kids and a level of detachment from the mother. So let's just keep watching. Yeah.
If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad.
Okay. This is just bullying behavior. This is the mother acting as much of a child as her child is. If you cut one more thing in the house, I'm going to cut the head off of your toy. So we're seeing that. And then non-verbally, I've blurred out the child's face because I don't want to make this about the child. However, throughout that, which you won't see, there is genuine fear and sadness that comes into the child's face when the mother says, yeah, I'm just going to cut the head off of your favorite toy because I'm in a bad mood about what you've done as a child. And again, these are just laying foundations for these kids' understanding and appreciation of the parental figures in their life. Maybe that's what those parents want to be in life. From what I'm seeing and gathering from their behavior so far, it seems as though they're paving that way for themselves quite well. But that's not what a kid needs as a parent. So we're going to keep going through this and just gathering more information.
So what are you going to do?
Are you gonna cut anything else? No.
You promise? Look at Mama. I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often.
Okay, just that response non-verbally. Kid didn't pack a lunch or didn't have a lunch packed, and the teacher was concerned because the kid is going hungry and said to the mother, the caretaker, the one who's in charge of taking care of the children that they brought into the world, can you bring a meal? Her response to this is a lip compression mixed with disgust. So it's biting back something negative mixed in with disgust, and now she's about to dive into some sort of, this is the kids' fault, not mine as a parent. So let's see.
Happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch.
Parents should be uncomfortable with their kids being hungry because they don't have food. If you're not uncomfortable with that, you're being a bad parent. So yes, the teacher was uncomfortable, and our glowing angel here is showing indicators of dismissal. We're seeing that with the heavy blinks and the looks away. We're also hearing that with the articulation that she's using in her phrasing as well. All of this is showing condescension towards the teacher for the teacher's concern about her own child. So let's just hear why there's this level of condescending from Ruby during this.
And it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
I'm gonna explain the rules to this.
7?
Okay, so again, we're hearing just another area where it seems as though the parental figure, the caretaker, is behaving and responding vengefully towards the person they are caring for. And in this specific scenario, it's a parent to child. The child never chooses to come into the family that they're in. The child just has to show up and deal. It's the parent's responsibility to step above that, to become better than that, because they made the choice oftentimes to be able to bring that child in. Now, obviously, there are a lot of exceptions to that scenario, but even still, as an adult, as having gone through life and having this small, very new, delicate being in your charge, that means that you have to be better than them. You just have to be a better person than them. And it's up to the parent to be able to guide and healthily raise that child. Not this. This isn't that. This is vengeful. This is spiteful. This is selfish. This is not okay parenting. This doesn't encourage a tight family dynamic as it grows up. And we're seeing that show up as the family has fully dispersed, especially with the allegations coming out. Let's see this next clip.
To this.
7?
We're done.
Julie, stop. We need their homework.
So you're all like, what? I have your attention now? Mm-hmm. Is that it? You're all gonna listen? If you have something in the bag that you would like out, you can pay cash for it. So you learn the value of your items. Or you can give what? Dad, I'll let you take the conversation from here.
You can do an equivalent value chore to get it back.
What's it?
And whatever isn't claimed by the end of the day goes in the garbage.
All right, so that's the end of that. Those are just some of the clips centered around their very, very awful, tragic behavior. So this part at the very end as well. Another classic thing that I've seen is, again, the parents using their ability to discipline and power over their children to get work done around the house that they themselves don't want to do, but also try to hang that on, oh, I'm actually just teaching a lesson as to the value of these items. Now, I don't know what the items are. I don't know what the context around this is. Perhaps it is a good system for the kids to be able to work to get the items back. However, having the items thrown away afterwards is not parenting. So seeing this come out here, we're seeing very, very clearly the mindset that goes behind all of the parenting styles that was in that family. I think that it's a very good thing that the law enforcement was involved and that now the kids are being able to be removed from this sort of parental environment. It's not healthy. It's not going to raise them well. It's going to cause them plenty of psychological difficulty in the future as they have to unpack how to trust people in authority and figure out how they themselves can take up their own space in their day-to-day lives because they've been trained and shown and abused into a position of living so small and to the whims of their parents that they themselves will have difficulty establishing their own identity. So we're seeing that come out, again, non-verbally throughout all of this. We saw levels of disgust and contempt and dismissal and vengeance and everything negative towards these kids, whereas on the kids' side, we're seeing levels of fear, we're seeing sadness, we're seeing pain, we're seeing uncertainty, we're seeing defensiveness come out from that. And that's just not a healthy parent-to-child relationship. There's definitely more that goes into this case. There's so much footage that I'm able to go through. If you'd like to see some more of these styles of analyses, just let me know in the comments below. If I've missed something that wasn't covered here or that you feel would actually add some really helpful context to this, please let me know in the comments below. Just let me know what your opinions are. If you would like to be able to become a member of the channel, that is now an option down below. You can have access to a number of various different perks. There's only one tier to be able to pay for, but then there's different badges and emojis and things that go into that for however long you've been in there, and it helps support the channel on some level. So thank you very much for that as well. Check out the other social medias, and that's the way that you can also reach out to me for more video ideas, the whole thing. But without further ado, that's all that I've got for the day. My name is Logan, and you have been oh so awesome as you always are, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.